thanks in part $90 million in the first 4 days of play in China and a whopping $76 million this far in South Korea among other markets. Walt Disney's Dis+0. 34% Avengers. Age of Ultron has passed $1 billion worldwide today. It was at $990 million as of yesterday, so it should be passing the magic milestone by the end of this sentence. It is the 21st film to cross the respective box office milestone, doing so in its 24th day of global play. That's among the faster such dashes. Doing the deed slower than Furious 7, 17 days, and the 19 days needed for the Avengers, Avatar, and Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. The only questions are whether it hits $425 million minus 450 meters domestic or $450 million $500 million domestic, as well as whether or not it can pass the $1.5 billion total of the Avengers, and soon Furious 7. Obviously a big part of that puzzle is how much the film makes in China, and eventually Japan, with the always-present caveat being that studios get back less of the ticket sales from China theaters and that international deflation has pushed down the pure dollar grosses for would-be blockbusters. This should pretty much clear up the idea that Avengers: Age of Ultron is in any plausible way damaging either in the short term or the long term to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. There are no permanent cracks in this system quite yet, and it's every bit as possible that the next Marvel movies can be great or terrible in relatively equal probability. To those who didn't care for it, and with the knowledge that it received plenty of praise from other critics and pundits, the biggest problem with Avengers: Age of Ultron is that it felt unnecessary and counterproductive in terms of the overall Marvel narrative. It ignored or somewhat undercut character development and status quo changes that occurred in Iron Man 3 and Captain America: The Winter Soldier. It told a story. Tony Stark creates a genocidal murder robot that should have had massive consequences, yet was mostly ended on a no harm, no foul note. I'd speculate that this was partially due to the fact that A. Joss Whedon didn't really want to come back for a second Avengers film, and B. Robert Downey Jr. joining Captain America 3 turned said third Cap movie into the big status quo shakeup that Age of Ultron was supposed to be in the first place. It had a director who arguably didn't want to come back. It was a film that only existed in the long-form story arc because the first one made $1.5 billion worldwide. It had a studio that was eager to move past it and get to the stuff they really wanted to do.